friends, I hope you're having a good day today. So I feel like you can probably already tell that I'm a little bit nervous to film this video. I've been like playing with my necklace, which I do when I'm like nervous. I wanted to film so much. I wanted to film my apartment tour, or what I've started with my apartment, for you guys the past few days, but something happened in my life, and when I work through something actively, I like to share with you guys after I have little breakthroughs or whatnot, in hopes that maybe it can help any of you out there. And what I'm about to share with you is some of my biggest, body image triggers, vulnerabilities, things that I am the most self-conscious of. And I know that by doing that, it's like giving you ammunition for any guns that you have. I know that being on YouTube, I'm subjecting myself to all different types of energies and all different types of people. I'm very aware of that. And I have grown a lot as a person through doing that. But this past week, I had a comment that hurt me. Yeah, it really hurt me. It's been a long time since I've been this affected by a comment. And it was actually on the same day, 1 week of living here, that I wanted to film like my 1 week update for you guys, but it just totally threw me off. It had me feeling very emotional, very vulnerable, very icky. I'm gonna share the comment with you. I screenshot it before I deleted it, because if anyone writes anything really hurtful or racist or anything like that on my channel, I just automatically delete it. But this person said, in my Why I Left Italy video, the Toronto Dermatology Center might help you with your mouthwort should it bother you. So I do not have a mouthwort. I have a mole right here, like kind of beside my lips here. You guys have probably noticed if you've been watching me for a long time. I have like 2 moles on my face. I have one here and I have one here. And it's something that I've been self-conscious of ever since I was little. Oftentimes, a lot of the things that we are self-conscious about or feel the most triggered by are from comments that we received in our childhood. So yes, one of my biggest self-conscious things is this mole on my face. And when I was younger, I remember certain things, like I remember going to a birthday party with people from a different school they didn't really know, and someone said, "Oh, I like you, but you have this weird mark on your face." I always have received comments as a child. Sometimes I think children can be not the nicest to each other just because they don't understand. But those types of things that were said about the mole on my face, I haven't forgotten. They stick out to me. And as I've grown up, as I've gotten older, I've definitely accepted myself a lot more. Like, I always am actively working through any types of blocks or barriers that I receive. But when I received this comment, it triggered something inside of me. I noticed how much it affected me emotionally in that moment that I read it. And whenever this happens, whenever I'm like triggered, like I use that word triggered, like it just hits you. But be it whatever, a comment someone makes, something someone says, something you see, I have found that there has been great leaps and bounds in my life because I've actively chosen to look inside and see where that comes from. And I asked myself, why did this comment affect me so much today? Why? Why so much today did this comment affect me? Because I've accepted it. I have considered getting this mole removed. Mostly throughout my like teenage years, I considered getting it removed, but I've just accepted it. My grandma told me it was a beauty mark, and Marilyn Monroe has one, and it makes you unique and it makes you special, and I decided to choose those words to move forward into my future. But this comment really affected me on that day. I looked within, I asked myself, why? And it got to the point where I realized that I wasn't happy with myself. I was feeling vulnerable in a situation, let's say. I was feeling vulnerable because I have been a week in this new place and I have no idea what this next chapter holds. And I'm trying to get the apartment organized, I'm trying to manage this course, and I'm still working with clients, And I'm enjoying this entire process to an extent I've never enjoyed it before. But perhaps I think that my self-love had taken the back seat. So when I recognized that maybe I hadn't been actively taking enough time to focus on self-love, you know, whether that be journaling, whether that be just doing something nice for myself, I decided that I'm gonna switch it around. I'm gonna watch a good movie, a rom-com, and I'm gonna make myself a really nice dinner, and I'm going to light my Palo Santo, and I'm gonna enjoy it. So it took a couple days, but I feel now that I've like actively worked through it. But I wanted to express that to you guys today because we all have insecurities and we all have triggers, and they hurt when someone comments on them. And I think especially on YouTube, people can write something nasty and sign off. They have no idea how it affects the person on the other side. And yeah, I've grown a thicker skin, but sometimes people hit you where it hurts, and I'm giving you guys all the opportunity to hit me where it hurts. But I think if we can be more open and more honest about our insecurities, they don't belong to us anymore. The more and more that we accept ourselves, the more that we feel okay talking about them, the more and more it just becomes easier for everyone around us. And, you know, speaking of my biggest like body image triggers, I'll tell you guys about my other two. So my other one is my scoliosis, which I feel like I've recently talked a little bit more about. And I don't think it's something you guys can notice much in my videos, but if you see me standing up, I wore this shirt because it's a bit tighter fitting, and I can show you. My sides, like my rib cage is here, and it goes in much further on one side than the other. So essentially I'm uneven. So if I sit like this, oftentimes one shoulder, I have to adjust them for them to be equal. When I think about this part of me, I think of comments that people have made similar to the mole on my face. Like I've received comments like, oh, I think you're perfect, but your shoulders aren't even. Or you walk a little bit crooked, I noticed. These things are scary for me to tell you because I feel like now you're going to take your attention to them, but it also feels a little bit more okay that I'm sharing them with you now. And another one is my eyes, and I'm so grateful because I feel like a lot of you who have watched my channel for a long time really like my eyes. Like you comment that you like to look into them, that you think that they're pretty, and I really, really appreciate that. But sorry, I'm getting emotional now. This one's a big one for me, I think. This is why it brings up the emotions. But with my eyes, I can think about when I was younger and someone told me that, because I grew up in a space where there wasn't actually a lot of people around me that had blue eyes or the same color like eyes as me. And I was told that my eyes were really scary and that I shouldn't look people in the eyes because it would probably frighten them. And this was by someone that I like really cared about. And so I carried that through my childhood, and every time that I would go to the eye doctor, I would pick up those pamphlets of different color contacts and I would circle the ones that I wanted. Green eyes, I'd be happy with. I would be really, really happy if I had brown eyes. And I would ask for them, like for Christmas, or if I could have contacts, even though I didn't necessarily need them because I didn't accept my eyes. And I think that this is something that still affects me, and clearly it is. Clearly we're just having a session right now, is because when I'm talking to people about something like really serious to me, or I'm being vulnerable, or you know, maybe I like someone and I have a really hard time looking them in the eyes and speaking at the same time because I worry that my eyes frighten them, that it's not a positive thing for me to look people in the eyes. And yeah, I can look a camera in the eyes just fine, but this is in real life. And you know, even in my later years, like when I was in corporate, I had a boss who told me that I couldn't look him in the eyes because it looked like I was staring into his soul and it made him feel uncomfortable. So I've always had this with my eyes. And I feel like I have accepted them, and I've learned and grown, and now I love my eyes, but I'm still dealing with exercising, working through the blocks that are so subconscious to me. For example, if we were just sitting across from each other at the dinner table, having dinner with each other, when I'm speaking from my heart, or when I'm speaking about something that I'm very passionate about, I really have to try my hardest to look at people in the eyes. Because on some underlying layer, I'm afraid that they're afraid of me. I know, maybe it sounds crazy, but that's just 3 of my big things. Is my mole, my scoliosis, and my eyes. So anyways, this week that I learned that if there's something that's triggering you, especially when it comes to body image, how can you look inside of yourself and give yourself the love that you need to work past that, to move past that, to grow past that? And the second that you decide to make that connection within yourself, like, I was hurt by this, why? When you find your because, you have your power back. You can give yourself the love that you don't feel like you've been given in regards to that feature about you. You can choose to love yourself, and you can practice loving yourself. And yeah, I'm sorry I got emotional on you guys, and I'm sorry if this video was rambly. I didn't know exactly what I was going to say, but I just knew that I needed to talk to you about this because that's what I do. I talk to you guys when I make these connections and work through improving myself. I'm going to have a home tour, you know, how I furnished my new place, coming soon, but this just felt like it had to come first. So I love you guys, and thank you for listening, and I'll see you again very soon.